From the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
The Carolina football team is a dark horse to make the college football playoffs. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Olivia Mundorf.
And I'm Caroline Yaffa, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, the unbeaten Heels have to get past the Miami Hurricanes, who are still stinging from a self-inflicted loss last weekend. Miami is coming off a tough defeat after the Canes should have knelt to run the clock instead of running the ball, costing the Hurricanes the game. Miami will put up a fight with hopes of redeeming themselves after the loss. UNC will play with the momentum of the 5-game win streak. Drake May is second in the ACC in passing, with Miami's QB Tyler Van Dyke at 5th. UNC will have to keep up their effective passing and stop Miami's rushing game in order to keep the undefeated record. For a deeper look into the sold-out, highly anticipated matchup, let's go live to Kenan Stadium with football analyst Rachel Kivlin on Roots with Rachel. Rachel?
We may have Carolina blue skies out here today, but there is a hurricane brewing on the forecast, and I'm not talking about the projected rain. Tomorrow, Kenan will host the Miami Hurricanes in a big-time top 25 matchup in the biggest test of the season so far. The Heels, 5-0 for the first time since 1997, are coming off of a dominating victory against Syracuse and are facing a team that is reeling against a devastating loss against Georgia Tech. That should have been a win. Miami has lost 4 of the last games in this series, but 3 of which have been decided by a field goal, with last year's matchup resulting in a 27-24 nail-biter in which Carolina just barely came out on top of the slug match. Statistically, these two teams are very similar. You have 2 high-octane offenses that are known for their adaptability and capability of powerful runs and strategic passing plays. For Carolina, led by Drake May, Heisman candidate, you also have Tez Walker, Kobe Paysour, Nate McCullum, and of course J.J. Jones, joined by running back Omarion Hampton, who are sure to be offensive stars. For Miami, you have Tyler Van Dyke, who leads the ACC in passing efficiency. As for defenses, Carolina defense is obviously a lot tightened up from last year, but you're going against a team that leads the nation in rushing defense, allowing only 58.2 yards per game. So what is this going to come down to? Well, the team that wins the turnover battle and the penalty battle will win the game. The toughest games for Miami so far have been won on turnovers, but Carolina has a real chance to force the Canes to make a mistake by putting a lot of pressure on Van Dyke, just forcing him to make those little errors. As long as we do that, we can really come out on top. As long as Carolina just doesn't have those little penalties that can really end up being costly. Tomorrow, Kenan will be the site of this highly electric football game that is sure to just be a toss-up and could end up coming down to a coin flip.
Rachel, what should the Heels be expecting from a team like Miami, who just saw one of the worst losses, in my opinion, in college football history?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a team that is coming down from one of the worst college football losses that we have ever seen. Truly devastating. So it's going to be interesting to see whether they play like they have a chip on their shoulder, like they have something to prove, or whether or not the pressure is going to get into their heads and they're not going to be able to withstand the Carolina heat.
Thanks, Rachel. It's going to be a really big game.
Carolina football players John Copenhaver, Colby Doreen, and Gibson Macri were eager to share their football knowledge with Carolina students looking for some excitement. So the trio has decided to embark on a unique journey. Here's reporter Sophie Watson with the details.
There's something special about student athletes, especially the ones at Carolina. They consistently push their physical boundaries and excel academically. Copenhaver, Doreen, and McCrae, however, are taking it a step further by actively engaging with the Carolina community and its student body through their coaching roles for a flag football team.
There's a wide variety of athletes on our team. So it was fun to kind of, play around and, see who could do what.
The dedication these athletes exhibit both in the classroom and on the football field is a common trait among Carolina athletes. It's evident that football plays an integral role in their upbringing.
I think my favorite part of campus is just getting a chance to go over to the business school and just work with all the students there and the professors there. We get a chance to do like a lot of teamwork. So I can kind of take what I've learned here in football and, apply it there and vice versa.
The players emphasize how much Carolina football feels like home to them, and they want their fellow classmates to feel the same love and passion for the sport they do, whether that's playing on a grand stage like for the undefeated Tar Heels or just joining a rec flag football team.
I've met some pretty much brothers here, and I've got a lot of good friends, and they're all going to be my weddings and, the rest of my life. So I've met the brotherhood that I've had from playing at Carolina football. It's been great.
Let's see if these three can lead their flag football team to success this season and continue to excel on the college football stage. I'm Sophie Watson reporting.
There's no doubt that members of the flag team will be in the stands tomorrow to cheer on their coaches and the rest of the Heels against the U. The number 3 ranked women's soccer team is heading down the road to face the unranked Demon Deacons at Wake Forest. It hasn't been easy for the Tar Heels to pull away with wins. After last weekend at Duke, they added yet another draw to their record. Against Miami, the Heels had 20 shots on goal, with only 1 making it into the back of the net. So as they head into another ACC matchup, they're going to have to work on getting around the goalie. The Tar Heels have struggled in keeping leads, giving up goals in the last few minutes. So the defense is going to need to remain strong and composed no matter the score of the game. Before the Heels face off against the Demon Deacons today, let's go to our women's soccer analyst, Caroline Daly, for Soccer on the Daily to look at what the Heels' biggest struggle has been recently. Caroline.
Olivia, the Heels are still undefeated, but they have moved down to number 3 in the country after being number 1 for 3 weeks. They are struggling to finish games out in the end and get wins rather than draws. We saw this happen in the Duke game this past Sunday when the Heels and Blue Devils tied with a score of 1-1. This matchup was a defensive battle. The score was 0-0 for 59 minutes. But UNC finally broke through when Emerson Elgin, she's going to pass the ball right here to Emily Colton at the top of the 18-yard box. And Colton is going to take advantage of this open space and fire off a shot that hits the crossbar and goes into the side netting for a goal. Now, 20 minutes later, Isabel Cox drew a foul inside the box that awarded Carolina a penalty kick. Now I'm going to show you where the Heels had a big missed opportunity to put them up 2-0 and possibly put the game away. Avery Patterson here is going to take the penalty kick. She kicks the ball to the right side of the goal, but the Blue Devils goalie, Leah Freeman, she instantly grabs the ball. I think Freeman just read the kick very well and immediately knew where to go. After this, the Heels have another chance to get the lead. With 4 minutes left, Evelyn Shores is going to kick the ball to Mia Oliaro, who is going to head the ball, but it slides right past the goal. So that's a missed opportunity right away. Then, with 1 minute remaining, the Blue Devils gained possession and they drove down the field. And Kat Rader, she's going to take a massive shot at the goal that just goes right into the back of the net. UNC goalie Emmy Allen just didn't even see this goal coming and it went flying past her. This ended the match in a 1-1 draw with 1 minute remaining. If the Heels want to make it far in the postseason, they have to take advantage of opportunities to get more points early on in games and continue fighting until the clock ticks down to 0. Olivia?
Caroline, the Heels have some big matchups in the next couple of weeks. How do you think they can stay undefeated and win these games?
Olivia, while their defense has been great, I think the offense needs to step up more and put some points on the board. After Wake Forest today, they have number 11 Notre Dame next week, so they need to make sure to score early and not allow last-minute goals.
Can't wait to see how the Heels do later today. Thanks, Caroline.
The men's soccer team is gearing up for a match against 4th-ranked Wake Forest tomorrow. The Tar Heels bounced back quickly after their first loss of the season exactly a week ago to Syracuse. On Tuesday, they had a commanding victory against Florida Gulf Coast, winning 3-0. They dominated the game in terms of passing around the defenders and through the midfield. That pressure ultimately set up opportunities for senior Ernest Bawa and graduate transfer Martine Vishian. The Demon Deacons will be a challenge for the 14th ranked Heels, and the game starts at 7. The Heels earned this commanding win after their first loss of the season. So let's go to men's soccer analyst Caroline Routh with Caroline's Corner to hear about the Heels, how the Heels were able to turn it around. Caroline?
Caroline, I think the Syracuse game was a real wake-up call for the Tar Heels. They had been cruising through their season and playing just good enough to get by. But just good enough doesn't cut it against the reigning national champions. And in suffering that first loss of the season, I think they learned a valuable lesson. Just good enough isn't good enough. Let's see how they stepped up their gameplay against Florida Gulf Coast. Now in this, UNC is going to take the corner, but number 4 on FGSU is going to head it out. Right here you see Parker O'Farrell. He is ready. He traps the ball and he blasts it from way outside of the box. This sophomore defender has the confidence to take it. He's never taken a shot before. He doesn't care that he's a defender. He sees the opportunity and he has the confidence to make that goal. Tar Heels up 1-0. Now let's take it to the other end of the field and check out our defense. Now in this, FGCU has the corner, and they head it to the goalie. Luis Luigo, as you just saw right here, he has a diving header. But right here, you see the teamwork of both Cortez and Riley Thomas to get the ball out. Now let's watch this again. As you can see, Cortez hits the ball off Riley Thomas's ankle just barely, and he gets it out of bounds, securing the UNC safety in that play. Now their complete trust and confidence in one another prevented the Eagles from getting on the board. And if there's one thing that sets this game apart, it's that UNC played with confidence. Now in this last play, confidence was on full display for the Heels. Charlie Harper plays a long ball up from the defense. And FGCU's goalie right here, Wyatt Kistner, he misreads the ball. Martin Vishian runs past it and notches Carolina's 3rd goal of the match. Now, if Vishian didn't have the confidence to trust his instincts, he might have given up that ball. But this style of competitive gameplay is exactly what the Heels need. If they keep this up where they're controlled, confident, and willing to fight, I think they'll have a real shot against Wake Forest. Caroline?
Caroline, the Heels had a strong showing, but do you really think they have what it takes to beat the 8th ranked team in the entire country?
Caroline, here's the thing about the Tar Heels. We've seen it once against Duke, and I think we'll see it again on Saturday. Rankings don't matter. Wake is an in-state rival and a strong program. But when the Heels play to their full potential, they're a force to be reckoned with.
Thanks, Caroline.
In preparation for the upcoming season, women's basketball had Media Day on Thursday at Carmichael. Players, staff, and Coach Courtney Banghart spoke to representatives from various media outlets, answering questions and sharing their thoughts about the season. Both Coach Banghart and the players addressed immense excitement for the competitive schedule ahead. They anticipate the strong bond off the court of returning players with the new ones will translate to their game.
And like I said, I don't know how good we are. I don't know exactly how all the chips are going to fall, but you'll like watching these guys play basketball. That I can guarantee you. And I really love our roster, right? Which is kind of what it comes down to. But our staff is excellent. The way we carry ourselves, the support that the community has given us.
The women's basketball team will continue to look for that support from the Carolina community at their opening game against Gardner-Webb. One of the biggest difference makers on the UNC women's basketball team is senior captain Alyssa Utsby. Our Anna Lively has the story.
Alyssa Utsby has been an athlete all her life, earning 14 varsity letters in high school and coming off of a junior campaign where she earned all ACC first team honors and an All-American honorable mention. She has been a leader ever since she was a little girl, learning from her dad.
Dad was my coach growing up through for about 3 years of my career, and he's always just led with poise, being humble, being confident, and supporting other people along the way.
Now she will be at the helm, leading her teammates as a captain both on and off the court in the upcoming women's basketball season. But this doesn't seem to be a problem for the senior. It seems like she is right in her element.
Her as a leader, she leads by actions. A lot of leaders that I've kind of dealt with or had in my lifetime, they talk. They talk the talk, but Liz walks the walk.
Alyssa continues to write her own legacy as she strives to leave a lasting impact on the girls and the culture at UNC. The future is still uncertain as she might be drafted by the WNBA in the spring or could opt to play one final year in college basketball.
Excited for all the different opportunities that I have the luxury to be able to engage in. So whether that's going to the WNBA draft, coming back for a 5th year, so there's endless opportunities, and I'm just really grateful to be in a position to have them.
Regardless of the choice that she makes, Alyssa will still be in pursuit of leaving a legacy wherever she goes, both inside and outside of the lines.
Alyssa is hoping to help her team make a deep run in March Madness this spring. I'm Anna Lively reporting.
Once again, the Tar Heels will kick off their 2023-2024 season at home on November 8th against Gardner-Webb.
After a heartbreaking loss to Liberty on Sunday, the UNC field hockey team takes on Syracuse this afternoon. Following a disappointing double overtime game against the Eagles, the Heels are hungry for a win. With both teams having 9 wins under their belt, the match against the Orange is sure to be an intense and pivotal showdown in their respective seasons. The Tar Heels are determined to rebound with a stellar performance, while Syracuse is equally motivated to secure a victory. The game is this afternoon at 4 p.m. The North Carolina hockey team is back this weekend to take on UNC Wilmington. The undefeated Heels are definitely going into this weekend's game with confidence as they dominated Wake Forest last Friday with a 7-1 win. The Heels are on a 5-game win streak and hope to make that 7 by defeating the Seahawks twice. Puck drops tonight at 10:15 p.m. and 6:15 p.m. tomorrow at the Orange County Sportsplex.
Baseball returned to the Bosch on Wednesday for the second scrimmage of the week. Friday the 13th started early for the Navy team as they had an unlucky outing against Blue. Casey Cook got the scoring started with this solo homer, followed by another from Alberto Osuna. Navy tried to crawl back in it with 2 runs in the top of the 6th, but it wasn't enough to overcome the massive deficit Blue had put them in. Blue took the win 9-3. The Diamond Heels returned for another scrimmage later today.
The Carolina softball team gears up for a doubleheader clash against Lewisburg and Catawba at Anderson Softball Field this Sunday. Coming off of 2 dominating wins, the Heels have plenty of weapons to use with the new squad. 2 of those veteran graduates, Autumn Owen and Abby Settelmeyer, who both blasted moonshots out of the park last weekend. The defense put on a show as well, putting up an iron wall in the infield and the outfield, showing off multiple flying and diving catches. The team hopes to keep the win streak alive with a couple W's on Sunday.
As pickleball sounds echo in Chapel Hill, reporter Josh Dutton directs our focus to UNC's club pickleball team, which has faced challenges amidst the sport's rise in national appeal.
The Chapel Hill community and the UNC campus are no exception to pickleball's exponential rise in popularity. UNC's club team has experienced the growth firsthand, due to both the rise in national interest, but also the success of the club itself. The Heels grabbed the first ever Duper National Championship in 2022. They followed suit with 3 more individual national wins in 2023 behind senior and president of the club, Hunter Boyd. The club has recently become the largest student organization on campus. Javon Davis, who has been with the club since its creation, has seen the growth firsthand.
The club has grown exponentially. When I first joined 2 years ago, there was about 10 kids on a Friday afternoon who just decided to go play pickleball together. And this year we had almost 700 people in our group chat. And so it's been awesome to see the growth.
Due to the club's sheer size and unique nature of both a traditional competitive team and as a social group of around 700 or more amateur players, Boyd says the club has become more challenging to manage than in previous years.
Yeah, so the clubs have become a lot more difficult to manage in the past year. Our club's grown exponentially. Last year it was right around 60 active members. Now we had close to 200 people that tried out for our competitive teams.
Boyd currently studies business management and statistics at Keenan Flagler Business School, which he says helps him manage the club.
Difficult scenarios. My training at the business school has helped. Also, my great team around me has helped too.
Optimism is high for the team heading into the 2023 season, and Boyd seems a clear-cut leader to helping the team towards another national championship. I'm Josh Dutton, reporting.
You know, Caroline, some of our UNC coaches have been out there playing pickleball. We saw Anson Dorrance last week, Jenny Levy, even Coach Banghart was out there, and I think we can take them.
Wait, I don't know about that, Olivia. I'm not so good at pickleball, especially against the greats in every sport, and I bet pickleball is just on their list.
I know. We'll see, and we'll get back to you, but that does it for this edition of Sports Extra. We'll be back on Monday with all of the highlights from another exciting weekend of Carolina athletics.